Hi, it's Matt. I made this little interview for you to do with your kid as you come up to September and you're like, what are we going to do this September? How are we going to make it awesome? Especially if you have a smart and inquisitive kid who struggles with school. Maybe they don't go, or maybe they do go, but it's not really feeding them. This little interview with your kid is designed to get a conversation going so you can make big improvements right away. Okay, so pause the video, go get your kid. I'll wait. Okay, you're back. Okay, so let's start. And hello, kid who's just joined us. Potentially teen, young adult, however you refer to yourself. It's time to dive into the interview. So it's kind of like I'm going to ask the question, but treat it like your parents asking the question and talk to them about it. And parent, your job is don't deny your child's reality, number one. So if they say something and it doesn't match what you remember, don't interject, say, oh no, you like that teacher, or that's not what happened. It's time to listen. And number two is it's about you reflecting on your behavior as a parent. Did you hear that, kid? So if your parent answers all these interviews by telling you what you need to do different, they're not doing it right. This is an interview to help you think about what you as a parent can do better and how you can support your kid more fully. So keep those in mind, and let's get to question number one. Number one was, what was your experience of learning last year? And you can start by reminding your parent a bit about what you did, but of course you both know that. The question is more about how did it make you feel? Was there, if you went to school, was there a class you always felt nervous in? Which one was it and why was that? Is there a class you always felt great in? If you're a home learner, what activities were you doing at home that got you excited? Was there an online course you took or a club you joined? And what kind of things did you experience more negatively? Was there a long time where you had nothing to do? Every story is going to be different, but I want you to take a second, go into your memory banks and share with your parent what you experienced last year. And parent, your job is to listen sensitively and not to correct your kid. Okay, pause and go. And we're back. Okay. Number two, this one's the negative one. Get your negative vibes out. Okay. What are you nervous about this coming September? What are you worried might not go right? And when you think about this September, whether it's going back to school or going back to your own learning plan or some combo, what makes your tummy hurt a bit? Is it a particular teacher? Is it an activity you'll be asked to do? Is it a class that you don't like? Is it uncertainty about something? Is it being certain about something bad? There's so many things that can make us feel a bit off. And if we talk about them, a lot of the times we feel better. Now, parent, do not go and just try and solve this problem. What you want to do is listen to your kid and maybe check if you got it right. So you could say, I hear that what you're most worried about is this. Is that right? And kid, if they didn't get it right, tell them. Tell them they didn't get it right. Okay, number three. What are you kind of stoked about? What are you excited about for this September? And if you feel nothing, that's fair. That's allowed. But also you can find the littlest things. If it's like talking to that one person at lunch that makes you happy, or the one carnival event they do in the spring. I said September, so maybe the fall carnival, or just anything that does make you think, oh, that would be fun. And if there's nothing, then you could ask the question, what would be fun? And again, parent, your job isn't to critique here. It's not to pass judgment. It's to show that you listened and to reflect back what they said would be awesome. Okay, pause. Yeah, go do that question. Great job. And now we're back. Okay, next question. This one's really important. What support do you need from your parent? Or what support do you wish you could have from your parent? And how would it help you? And parent, this is where you're going to probably feel defensive. You're going to feel like I'm already doing that, or I can't do that, or you don't understand. You're not taking into account A, B, and C. Reasonable responses, but not helpful. What I want you to do is listen and tell your kid what you heard in terms of what they asked from you. And kid, you could be thinking about a whole ton of things. You could be thinking about what happens when your parents get mad about school, or what kind of support they provide, or who they talk to at the school. But what do you wish you could get from your parents during the school year? And parent, your job's just to listen. Okay, pause it, chat it, See you in a minute. And we're back. Okay. Finally. Why did I say finally? We're at 5 out of 7. I should say, like, as we enter the back half. What is it that your parent needs to stop doing? What is it that your parent should avoid doing? What is it that when they do it, it sets you off? Now, again, parent, you're probably going to feel defensive here. That's okay. But it's not your time to put that defensiveness in the center of the conversation. It's your time to listen. And remember, kid, like, don't be cruel, right? But at the same time, when your kid's speaking truth, that's a compliment. If your kid felt they needed to lie to you and tell you that there was no problems, that's like a big red flag for me as an educational consultant. So when your kid tells you something and it stings a bit and you know that you didn't mean to cause problems and he's or she or they are telling you that it's causing problems, you got to hear that. And you don't even have to agree. You don't have to change it. You just have to hear it. Okay, pause. Kid, what should your parent avoid? And we're back. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you have a magic wand and you can change anything. You can, give yourself a million wishes or make yourself infinitely rich. But you can change anything about your learning and school life this fall. And there's no budget cost. So if you wish you could go to a fancy art school or go work on the particle collide, whatever. Or you just wish you could hang out with your friends all day. If you had a magic wand, what would your learning life look like? What would you learn and how would you learn it? Okay, tell your parent, pause the video, and come back for the last question. All right, we are at the last question. The last question is about your whole life. And it's about thinking 10 to 20 years in the future. So if you're a teenager, that means thinking into your 20s and your 30s, maybe even your 40s. If you could do anything with your life, and there was no limits, you could be as famous as Mr. Beast, you could be as successful as the most successful business person. It doesn't matter. What matters is, what vision would you have for that self? And to be clear, this might not be realistic. That's fine. This conversation is to get you thinking about aspirations, things that you wish could happen. And then maybe those are a bit unrealistic, maybe not. And you drill them into something that is more realistic. You can learn from this. So, parent, as you're listening to your kid on this, I want you to listen to what they're really telling you about who they are and what they dream for themselves. And you'll know you have got it right if you check. You say, for you, this is what sounds like what is really important. And they go, yeah, that's right. When you hear that, yeah, that's right, you did a good job of listening. Okay, so tell your parent what it is that you would love to be doing with your life in 20 or 30 years. And if you don't know, just make some stuff up. Just use it as an imagination exercise. And then pause it and come back for a couple of final words. Okay, you're back. Final thoughts. Firstly, I hope the interview was useful. And if it wasn't, I would love to hear about that. Actually, I would, no matter how it was useful or useless, I want to hear about it because I want to make this interview better. But as you go off, you probably really shared a lot of things, some of which have been discussed before maybe, but it's good to center them during September as we arrive in September. And some of them might be new. And the homework I want to give really is for the parent who's in this interview. What is it that you can do? What is it that you can do a little differently this year to avoid what your kid's worried about, provide the support they need, and help them orient just a little bit more to their magic wand wishes?